Hello everyone. Initially, we'd like to say a big thank you for purchasing our income and expense tracker. We're a small business that prides ourselves on creating simple but effective Google Sheet financial planners, and your purchase enables us to improve and continue creating. So to begin with, I'd like to show you some of the key features that are going to help you track your finances. The first step is to fill in the currency and the start month. I'm based within the United Kingdom, so I'm going to change this to pound sterling, but do feel free to use whatever currency is preferred. The next step is to fill in the start month. I'll put in Jan 2024 here just to give you a bit of a whole year overview. And this is the start month for the annual summary page. The next step is to input some incomes, categories, and some accounts. So for income, I'm going to put in job, and say you're sort of expecting to earn around £2,400 from that. eBay, and £100 from eBay. In terms of categories, these are your sort of budgeting categories. So rent, so your rent £700 per month. Gas, £100. And then accounts. So these are current accounts that you may have currently. And so for instance, credit card, minus £400, and checking, £100. I'm now going to go ahead and fill in a few more categories and incomes and accounts. So as you can see, I've now filled in a few more incomes, a few more categories, and a few more accounts. And this is just to give you a little idea of how the spreadsheet works, but do feel free to amend it to however is suitable for you. I'm now going to go ahead and talk you through the transaction log. In terms of the transaction log, this is where you're going to put and input your transactions throughout the course of a month or the course of a year. So to give you a bit of a feel for and a bit of an example, on the 1st of January 2024, in this particular example, there was an income of there was a £2,400 income, and that was from their category job. As you can see, these drop downs are populated from the setup page, and that was into the checking account. On the 3rd of January 2024, there was an expense of £84. And as you can see, the expense drop down is now populated again from the setup page, and that was for gas, and that again came out of the checking account. Lastly, on the 5th of January 2024, there was a £54 expense on electric, and this actually came out of the credit card. I'm now going to go ahead and populate some transactions in here from the whole course of a year, just to give you a bit of a feel of how that sort of annual view works and what it looks like. As you can see, I've now filled in a number of transactions throughout the course of a year and assigned a category and an account to each. The next thing I want to show you is the monthly overview page. So this page is automatically populated from that transaction log. The only thing you have to input here is the month that you want to look at. So right now I'm looking at Jan 2024, but say I want to look at February 2024, all I would have to do is change that, and I'm now looking at February's finances. There's a number of tables and charts on this page that are showing different things. So to begin with, on the table on the left, we've got a list of the transactions that occur throughout that month. We've got a list of the expenses, and that can be switched from income or expense. So we can see in that particular month, there was a £2,400 income from the job and a £200 income from Etsy. When I changed that, you might have noticed that the income breakdown also changed. So that's sort of drop down and amends the charts, these two charts around the outside as well. Along the top here, we've got an income and expense summary, so just showing sort of total income goal and then the actual of what happened. Along the top, we've got remaining balance over time, which shows how your finances, how your money is sort of going down throughout the course of the month. with a total of £1,987 outgoings, and that's 94.8% of income, leaving a remaining balance of £109. The next page is really similar, and it just enables you to budget, for instance, paycheck to paycheck. So if you don't get paid on the first of every month, which is quite normal, you just need to type the start date here. So if you got paid on the 18th of January and then you wanted to track 18th of January to 18th of February, you just need to type them in there, and then that automatically changes the values within the page to those particular dates. The next thing I want to show you is the annual summary page. So the annual summary takes all of the transactions throughout the year in the transaction log and puts them in a top level annual overview. There's nothing that you have to input in this page, it's all automatically populated. But you can see that we've got an initial 12-month overview table here that's looking at your start balances, your incomes, your expense, your income spent, your residual, your end balance, your daily spend, and then the number of transactions you had throughout that month as well. We've got a total income scorecard along the top, a total spent, a balance overview, and then an average daily spend. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about the account summary to look at those individual balances in a moment. But for the time being, with this drop down here, you can see your different account balances depending how much income's come in that account and how much has been spent throughout the course of the month or the course of the year. And you just change that by using that drop down. So right now we can see that there's £1,232 negative on the credit card. The chart here is looking at income and expenses. So the line is your income, and then the green bars are your spend. This is showing your end balance over time, so how your balance is trending over the course of the year. And then this chart on the bottom right again has another drop down that enables you to look at how much you're spending each month, the percentage of your income that you're spending, the residual, the daily spend, and then the number of transactions as well. So the next thing to show you is the account summary. So this is to give you an indication of how those accounts are doing and how your balances are doing throughout the course of the year. So right now we can see again there's nothing to populate here. These are all being drawn from the setup page and then from the transaction log. So we can see that we had start balances, the income spent, the expenses spent, and then the sort of remaining balance. So we can see here that most of the transactions are happening on the checking account, with some transactions on the credit card, but it's noted that there's not really been an expense into been an income into that credit card, so it's accrued a little bit of debt there. So this is the kind of situation where if you were to then go off and pay that balance, you'd want it populated within this tracker as well. So the way to do that is within this balance transfers in the bottom here. So on the 5th of March, so right now we've got £1,232 on the credit card. So but we've got 1,314 on the checking. So I'm going to show you how you transfer it from the checking onto your credit card if that's what you decided to do. So £1,232 as an amount, and we can see that so we've transferred that from the checking account into the credit card, and you can see now that that balance has been reduced to zero, because that's been paid off from the checking account, and the checking account balance has now been decreased as well. We've then got a total balance overview here, which shows you your total balance across all of your accounts, and then also the largest account. So right now that is now Monzo. Account breakdown shows you the sort of balances of those different accounts, and then we can see income versus expenses on those specific accounts as well. But that's the account summary, and I'd now like to show you the savings forecast, which is a sort of free bonus that we've included within this tracker. So there's a couple of things to input on this spreadsheet. So the first thing is starting month, so Jan 2024 for instance, and then a goal month. So what we're doing here is saying we have a particular value in mind that we want to achieve. buyer's particular date, so we could say February 2024 here, and we can say the starting amount, so say you've got £100 towards a particular amount you're wanting to reach, and then you're going to save £300 per month, and you want to save £4,000. So I'm going to amend this to February 2025, which is what I meant to put in, and we can now see that we've got this table populated, which is showing that we will reach that £4,000 goal in January 2025. We've also got a what if forecast along the right here. So for instance, if you inputted an additional 20% or additional 15%, which equates to £45 per month, you'll reach that saving goal in December 2024 instead of January 2025. We then have that populated along the right hand side in a sort of visual graph format, and alongside the scorecards here. But all in all, that's our income and expense tracker in a nutshell. I'd like to conclude by saying thank you once again for your support. It really does mean a lot to us. And in addition to this, we've got a comprehensive instructions page which has written instructions if you need to quickly revisit. But if you have any further issues or questions, please do feel free to contact us directly on Etsy. Thank you.